glasses were man-made, you could have thought maybe something random made them. I don't know.
I think that would not be a sound conclusion, because your glasses are an effect of knowledge, because they go around your ears. They have certain thickness in the lens. They fit around your eyes. So this is an effect of intelligence.
It would have been incredibly unlikely if something random caused them, but you can't rule it out necessarily.
But how do you come to that conclusion? Like, how would you say that it just popped into existence from nothingness?
I don't have enough knowledge to do that. I don't think anyone does. I mean, no one knows exactly the nature of the universe. No one.
But what is the most rational thing to say, that the glasses have been created by a willful creator, or they just popped into existence? Which one is more rational, do you think?
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
So you have to be consistent, yes? They have to be sincere as well, right?
Yeah, of
that
course.
if someone says that these glasses just popped into existence from nothingness, you will say that person's... It's
Even
an
if it's
absurdity.
99, even if it is 99% likely that there is a creator, even if it's like almost guaranteed, we still cannot rule out that there isn't one.
So why do you go...
And why would we base an entire idea
It's
of living
because... It is because is that why would you take the infinitesimal a percentage, which is like 0.00001,
whatever it is, yeah.
which is not observable, it's not provable, it's not cannot be exemplified to us, then rationally that 99.9999% that your glasses have been created, because we know that things cannot come from nothingness, just pop into existence. Yes, your glasses cannot bring themselves into existence.
Well, that's why I'm agnostic. I don't know. Like, it could easily be a creator. I don't know.
But which
even
one
if
more
there is a
rational?
creator, I wouldn't know. Like, I wouldn't know how anyone understand his nature. How would anyone understand
but-
that he is Christian? How he is Buddhist?
Sure,
how he is
excellent. But first we have to establish that there's a creator, then I'll tell you,
There
what we
could
believe
possibly
in, yeah?
be one. I don't think anyone can prove it. But
So the thing is, I'm proving it, because what's more complex, the human or the glasses?
the human is obviously far more complex, yes.
So we would argue if that the complexity of something increases, then there is more intelligence.
There could be, but we
behind
also
that
don't
thing.
understand how the universe came into existence.
So, because cosmologists say that it came into existence from a singularity point, yes?
Yeah.
So if it came into existence and it didn't exist at one point, we will say that it has been created.
Or maybe it did exist all the time. Maybe the concept of time, our concept of time is flawed. We just don't know the true answer yet.
So,
it's a very complex topic. I mean,
but do you believe the universe has a beginning?
there might have been a beginning, there might have been no beginning. There might have just
No, but
always
according
been
to
something.
scientific, the universe has a beginning. Are you aware about that?
Some scientists say that, some don't.
Yeah, but those who say they're based on evidence.
Yeah, but
Do you know?
both
Do
say
you know? Do you know why they say that?
why they say the universe is a beginning? Because they, as far as they understand, everything has to have a beginning.
So because they say in the 1920s, I believe, that Edwin Hubble, he saw that. Sorry, Thomas Hubble, he saw the planets moving away from each other, and he saw the background radiation. So then they deduced that everything came from a singularity point, and the universe is expanding, and the sun is orbiting the Milky Way galaxy. Yes. So they say the universe has a beginning. If it began to exist, then we would argue that it has been created, because it just cannot come from nothing. Nothing can just pop into your glasses, your jacket.
As
If
far
you let me
as we
randomness,
understand, that is the case, but this is a far more complex
Give-
topic than we
give
anyway
me-
understand.
in our experience of life and
In the human
existence,
experience, yeah.
have we seen anything that just can come into existence from nothingness?
People back in the day would have assumed that.
No,
Yes.
I'm talking about now. With our reasoning and all the understanding of the science and the universe, and just reasoning on a child level or whatever, yes? Have we seen anything that can come into existence from nothingness and then organize itself?
If someone from prehistoric times saw fire or the sun or trees and assumed they must have come from nothingness, then what's to stop us or someone from the distant future looking back at us in the same way? We
No,
just don't.
That is not my point. Okay, in your experience, in your life, have you seen anything just pop into existence in this?
Not in my life, no, but
Okay.
my life may be flawed. I don't know yet. My
Okay.
thinking may be completely wrong in 5,000 years.
Can this bottle come from nothing?
As far as I understand, no, but someone in 1,000 years
What
might
does
say
it
I'm
need?
stupid.
What does it need for this bottle to exist?
Plastic.
Plastic and a designer, someone to make, right?
Someone would have
So
designed
which
it.
one is more complex, the bottle or the universe?
Obviously, the universe.
So therefore, the
You have to be
universe needs
consistent, yeah.
manufacturer, the designer, the creator, whatever name.
Has to be
you wanna
consistent,
call it.
basically,
You
yeah.
have to be
Needs
consistent.
to. Doesn't need to.
No, because then you're saying that
Yeah.
that universe, atoms and molecules just came from nothing, kept colliding, and gave rise to planets, human beings, the ecosystem, the DNA, which is we always say is not a rational position. We will say that the natural innate disposition is that there is the creator of the universe. For example, in the Quran it says in chapter 30, verse 30, that Allah has created mankind upon the natural innate disposition to believe in a supreme being of the universe. That there's only one supreme being, and that supreme being is not a man or a woman,
Right.
has no parents,
Sure.
has no children, immaterial, and is above the seven heavens.
Yeah.
And this is a natural, innate disposition, and it does not go against sound reasoning. Even a child, anthropologists, for example, Justin Barrett, if you look into his works, he's an expert in this sort of subject. He did a study called The Born Believers, and he said that children are hardwired and are psychologically built to know that there's a creator of the universe.
I've never heard that. But
Go,
okay.
go and do your research into this. So we will say that this is the evidence that there is a natural innate disposition of the human. Secondly, is that even a child wouldn't believe that something can come from nothing because it's not natural to believe in this. For example, a child will be eating, once the food is finished, they would not just sit there and think that food would just pop into existence because there is cause and effect,
You
yes?
wouldn't know, yeah.
So that child would know that someone has to, the mother that has cooked the food has to bring that food.
Sure.
Yes? So we know that if the universe is complex and organized in a very specific way, we have atoms and molecules cannot self-create. Nature,
They do.
they don't have a will or an understanding.
They don't have a will. They don't knowingly create, but they do create without knowledge.
So again, the word create is an attribute. You cannot give attributes to the universe, but the universe is brain dead. It has no will, has no
You don't have
knowledge.
to be sentient to create.
Yes, you do.
I don't think that's the case.
Can these nuts create a phone?
I mean, depends what. Not obviously create a phone, but it depends what kind of nuts they are. If you plant them, they might create a tree.
No. Can these nuts, or this table create a phone? Or
No,
bring
of
up?
course
Yeah, because it doesn't have self-awareness. It doesn't have
But
a
it
will.
can create things. It doesn't
A
not
table
create
can-
a phone. No, those seeds can create a tree or plant.
Sure, but a seed, it doesn't have the awareness or the understanding. It is something external from the universe
Yeah.
that is allowing that seed to grow into different fruits and vegetation.
But it is creating a tree. The
So where
seed
did the seed
creates
came
the tree.
from? That's the
So
question.
Another tree.
Sure. So who put that system in place?
Yes.
We don't know, and it's. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I don't study anything scientific. I study history actually. So I
appreciate
think
that,
it's
yeah.
sort of a bit. I'm agnostic, so I don't think anyone can actually know what happened definitively. Like I admit, It is very reasonable that there is a creator.
Okay.
I'm more interested in the fact that how do we know that which creator's the truth? How do we
Okay.
know that we even nailed down one in
Can
our
I respond to that?
Sure,
The creator has already made an argument based on that. Chapter 52 in the Quran, he says, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ أَمْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بَلْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Were you created by nothing or did you create it yourself? That's the question mark, a rhetorical question. Did you create the heaven and earth? In the end, he says, rather they are not certain. So what it means is you guys are not certain. The first question is, did you create it yourself or were you created? What's the question? What's the answer?
Did I create what, sorry?
Were you created by nothing or did you create it yourself?
I was not created by myself or nothing. I was
So
created
there
by my
must be a
parents.
designer who created you then.
No, the point being made,
Yeah.
it is absurdity. It's an
Yeah.
absurdity. Obviously, you're agnostic, so you can't make any claims. You don't have any, because agnosticism is a position where you don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because you don't have certainty that you're saying something that is absurd, that this magnificent universe and the day and the night, like Allah says in the Quran, that there are signs within the world around you. If you go to chapter 2, verse 164,
So the question that I've made, did you create it yourself or were you created? So there's something called necessary existence. Where did the universe came from? Where did the human being came from? Did he came randomly? The first option. Did he came by chance? That's the second option. Which one? Or was it created by the high power, the creator? Which one is it? According
As
to your logic.
humans, we don't know. It could have been a high power, but even if it was a high power, how do
Yes.
you know it was this high power?
So now you have to stick to one option. We can't have a more than that. So your position is there is a high power. Are you saying that? need to
I
make
don't
sure.
personally believe in that, but even if there was a higher power, how would you know it's this
we will say rationally,
So, yes.
if you use reasoning correctly,
Yeah.
that this creator would not be a human being. Like, I will say that naturally you would know that something exists, and I give you evidence for that. Secondly, is that reasoning is that anything that is limited and finite cannot be the creator of the universe. Atoms and molecules cannot be the creator of the universe because they came into existence and they are limited and finite. There has to be something external from the universe that is eternal, has no beginning, has no end. Yes.
Why does it have to be?
Because then you would not have a sufficient explanation for your existence. Or you're saying I don't know, which is not a sufficient explanation. For example, this book. This book, if anyone says it came by chance, they cannot prove that. Okay.
Well, it came from Muhammad. What do you mean?
No, this physical
So
book.
he's talking
Oh,
about
okay.
the material.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This physical book, yes. I think we have to be consistent, and what I'll say not being consistent is that you're saying chance, but in the world, chance doesn't exist. Randomness, it doesn't exist as well. In a
It
silent
doesn't
period.
affect my life much if this book came from nothingness, if it was created.
Sure, but the question
I can take that risk. Like, it
the
doesn't
thing
really
is,
matter to me.
no. The thing is that if there is a creator, then you have a purpose, and if you're not fulfilling that purpose, then you would have a consequence of you die, which is I would say hellfire. Yes, is that everything around you has a purpose, but the human within the universe has no purpose. Trees have a purpose, clouds have a purpose, the ant has a purpose, even cow dung has a purpose.
They do things, but I mean, purpose is a weird word to use to describe
No,
them.
a
because
reason for a tree has a reason for its existence. Yes.
I mean, there's a reason it exists. There's not
Yes.
a reason for its existence. It doesn't exist because it gives us oxygen. It just exists.
No,
because it
the point
evolved that way.
the point being made is that tree itself cannot bring itself into existence.
It can bring others like it into existence, other trees.
Sure, no. The point that I'm making is that tree is limited and finite.
Yeah.
It cannot arrange the ecosystem. The whole ecosystem is connected. The rain cycle,
Sure.
all these things are limited. All these mechanisms cannot bring themselves into existence. As a,
We
you
understand,
think,
yeah, but
this book is limited and finite. By looking at the book, I wouldn't say that the book created itself. Would you?
I wouldn't
would
say
you
that
agree?
either.
So therefore, the tree cannot bring itself into existence.
as far as we understand, I agree.
No,
yeah.
reasoning
But
reasoning would take.
is made by humans. Reasoning isn't
Okay,
an innate thing.
so why every day you use reasoning, you put your shoes on your feet, you put your jacket on your back, or you put your glasses on your face, but when it comes to God, you are suspending your reasoning. You're saying, look, either it's, you know what it is, like, I just want to live my life, I want to do what I want to do, I don't want to submit to a creator, I don't want to know my purpose. Because a lot of people say this because they don't want to know the truth. They just say, look,
What belief am I not suspending when I put on my shoes? What do you mean?
no,
by
like, you're saying that we're using our reasoning and our reasoning is faulty. We can't know the truth about the universe, is what you're saying, yes?
that? Our reasoning is our own. It's not innate to the
But,
universe.
but can you get to absolute truth with your reasoning?
In things made by humans, and as far as we understand, yes, but that might not be the case on massive levels. We just don't know.
No. So, but is reasoning a way that you can get to absolute truth?
As far as we understand, but that might not be the case.
Okay,
we
so
just don't know.
When you got here today, did you use reasoning?
I walked here, if that's what you mean.
Sure. Did you take the train or the bus?
No, I walked. I live
Yeah.
very close.
Yeah,
Even
sure.
for you to walk, it was a reasoning for you to come to Stratford.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could have been in Ilford or in Wembley, but the reason that you're
I
standing
thought
here...
about, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
about
yeah.
coming.
So our point is this. Anyway, what is determined? How would you determine what is true or false?
As for humans on a human level, and as far as I do on a daily basis, reasoning, of course, yes.
Yeah,
this
sure.
is
Yeah,
our
yeah.
point we're
That's
trying
the
to get
point. So you
into.
can use that same reasoning
Yes.
if you're consistent,
But why should you?
because you want to know the purpose of your existence. That's why.
Yes. What's the purpose of life? You don't mind me
Do
asking.
you get the point? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what happens after you die? What's the purpose of your life?
I mean, what is the purpose of life? Let's ask that question. Like, why are we here? How
I
did
mean,
we come into existence?
On a human level, everyone makes their own purpose. Everyone has their own reasoning. Everyone
Well-
has their own goals, whatever they want to do.
No, but that would mean that purpose, it doesn't exist because it's a subjective thing.
It is subjective.
Okay. So therefore, there's no purpose. Someone can say,
There's no inherent purpose. There's
So-
no reason anyone exists that God didn't give
Okay,
you a
sure.
purpose to live. You just did.
So therefore, a murderer can say that I want to murder everyone as my purpose.
He would make that argument, and we would all disagree.
But how would you?
No, but
how
the
would
thing
you
is,
prove
but,
that person is
but
wrong?
yeah, you
He
cannot.
goes,
You
how
don't
would
have
you do that?
an objective truth about your existence, morality, purpose of life. We don't have, because you're saying it's all subjective.
Yes, because what you like, that person might not like it. What that person likes, he might like to steal. How would you prove to that person objective morality? How do you prove
Morality
it's
or
wrong?
truth or
Yes,
anything.
Where do you get your objective morality from? To prove to someone else that it's wrong to steal, to rape, to do murder.
If it
lie.
harms anyone, then it's wrong.
But
I would say it's wrong. They might disagree.
Yeah, they
My
might
morality
disagree, yeah.
is that way. It's
Okay,
wrong.
so it doesn't exist then. Morality doesn't exist.
Yeah, but it makes
Do
that
you-
person happy.
But the thing, do you understand the point that number one, you don't have a purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. There you go. Oh, it's a bag, that one, yeah. So, but the point being made is that you cannot get to morality. Number one, you cannot get to if there's a creator or not, because when it comes to these questions, you're just saying, look, well, we cannot know because using our own reasoning, which is
Exactly.
faulty.
Yeah, that's how it is.
We cannot get to what happens after we die, what is right and wrong, meaning that it's a pointless existence.
It could be, but it's what point you give it yourself. I mean,
But then it's still this leads to nihilism. With life has no meaning or purpose. It's just a
just
pointless
because
thing.
you want life to have a purpose, and life would be better if it did have a purpose, doesn't mean that there is a purpose.
It depends if you want to find the true purpose of something. I can say to you that my phone is a pillow, but that is not the purpose of the one that created it.
That was not why it was created. No.
Yeah, so they're the truth mechanism. We're saying that if you use reasoning correctly, or we give you the evidence from the Quran, why the Quran is divine, yes, then you can come to that conclusion. For example, the Quran, if the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ made prophecies and they came true, he's claiming to be a prophet, yes? And one of the ways that we can establish if a person is a true prophet or not, that person can prophesy the future.
Sure, yeah.
Because we all say that the creator that created everything around us has absolute knowledge.
A prophet would have to prophesy the future, yeah? I mean,
Yes, and the creator would give him some information
presumably.
to prove to mankind that he is a prophet, yes?
Yeah.
Because by definition, a creator would have complete knowledge, yes, would have perfect wisdom, all knowing, all seeing.
Yeah. I mean, as far as our understanding of a creator would be, yeah.
Yes, because if we see knowledge around us, that there is, the fingerprint is very complex,
Yeah.
the eye is very complex, the heart is very complex. So we know that the one that has created the human has to have perfect knowledge and wisdom, because this has to precede the action of creating. Yeah.
Yeah, if
I
someone
think about
were to
these
make
things.
Something,
Maybe think about these things, because I think they're quite deep things, concepts maybe.
yeah, it was.
So we'll say the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that there will come a time in the future where these barefooted Bedouin desert dwellers, there would come a time where they will compete in building tall buildings.
Okay.
So he's speaking in the 7th century in Arabia,
Yes.
where they were destitute.
Yeah.
Do you know how they became rich? The Arab world.
Oil.
Excellent, right? So they found oil in 1966.
Some give or take a few years. To some
Yeah.
places, but yeah.
So they could, So and they were like destitute, and now they are crazy rich, right? You got Dubai and stuff like that, yeah. So now the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in an authentic narration, he said that there will come a time where these barefooted Bedouin desert dwellers, there would come a time. Yeah, you can take one. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, so there will come a time where they will compete in building tall buildings. Yes.
Sure.
So in the 7th century, you had the Persian Empire and you had the Roman Empire.
The Eastern Roman Empire.
Yeah, and they were like superpowers, and they had wealth, money, chariots, weaponry. Yes, but the Arabs at that time, they didn't have anything.
Yeah.
The Arabs only afterwards they kind of like advanced because of Islam, but previously they didn't have anything. Yes.
Yeah.
So he said he could have said the Persians or the Romans, but he said no. These barefooted Bedouin desert dwellers, shepherds, desert shepherds. Yes. So now, where is the tallest building in the world?
It's currently in Abu Dhabi. Not Abu Dhabi, sorry.
Dubai.
Dubai, yeah.
Dubai. What's it called? Do you know?
Sorry?
What's it called?
Burj Khalifa.
Excellent, right? So now this is tallest building in the world. Yes.
Yeah. I believe they're building a bigger one in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
Excellent.
Arabia, this is his
Excellent.
point, he's getting
That's the point. Yes.
Yes.
So this is the precise point that I'm making. Yes. So he could have easily, if he wanted to make an intellectual guess, he could have said Rome, Romans, and then Persians, because they already. So they already had the wealth to do that, and they already had the buildings. Yes, Arabia is a desert, and it is still so hot. But in the past, they used to dig into the ground to make their house because it's so hot there, right?
Yeah.
And what's more fascinating, he didn't say the city Arabs, he said the desert Arabs, because the city Arabs had some structure, but he said the desert Arabs, the barefooted Bedouin shepherds, specifically saying the shepherds, yes?
Yes.
So the people that built the Burj Khalifa were shepherds. Yes, and this prophecy came to pass. Now they are trying to build, as you know, they are trying to build another building in Saudi Arabia called the Kingdom Tower. Yes.
Yeah.
What brings more emphasis, which is a prophecy, is that there's something that these Arabs do. It's called the Al Ayala dance. If you go on YouTube, you find that these are the same people that built these buildings. They have a tribal dance called the shepherd dance.
Okay.
So they are dancing with shepherd sticks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So they are dancing with shepherd sticks, and they are billionaires, and they are the ones that built these tall buildings. Yes. So they are dancing, symbolizing that they were shepherds in the past. Yes.
Okay.
So the Prophet Muhammad says specifically that these barefooted Bedouin shepherds, desert dwellers, very specific. And he also said that they will compete in building tall buildings. So how does he know this?
Well, Egypt's also doing it.
He said Arabia,
I
specifically.
know,
Remember,
but Egypt is currently also saying they're going to build the world's biggest tower.
sure, but at the moment, the tallest building in the world is built by Arabs.
I know.
That used to be shepherds. Even the Shard, which is like the sixth tallest building in Europe, it's actually built. It's actually funded by Qataris, 80% of it. Yes, and it's funded. The point being made is this an accurate prophecy?
Partially. I mean, they're building loads of tall towers everywhere.
But what did he say in the prophecy specifically? What did he say?
If I remember, he said like you barefooted desert shepherds, whatever, Bedouins. He said.
Barefooted.
competing
Yes.
to build the world's tallest tower, or build tall towers.
Tall buildings. Yes.
compete each other.
Yes. So they were literally barefooted.
Yeah.
If you look in the history of these specific Arabs, they were literally barefooted and they were goat herders. Yes. So if you are sincere, then you come to a realization that this is a very profound prophecy.
He was partially right, but I mean, he didn't foresee that Egypt would be involved in it.
No, but he's not talking about Egypt. He's talking about the Bedouin Arabs.
I know, but they are also competing with Egypt.
But that
He didn't foresee that.
but that's not the prophecy.
He would have mentioned
He's
it, surely.
not. It's a prophecy is something that you can take and understand that number one, something is about to occur, because he said that this is
Something will occur, because it can be very
Yes.
long in the future.
this is one of the minor signs of the Day of Judgment, because he was asked about the hour from the angel Gabriel. When is the hour? Yes. If the angel Gabriel asked him that question, he said the one who's asking the question and the one being asked both do not possess the knowledge, but they are minor signs. So for us Muslims, it's a minor sign of the Day of Judgment for us to recognize that this is a sign. Yes. Even the Prophet Muhammad said that a person would lie, he would tell a lie, and that lie would reach the whole world very quickly, in a day or so.
Sure.
Right? So now you find that people in the media, they lie in the
I mean,
media.
that's pretty fast, to be honest, the whole day, but...
Yes, but now we have media, we have television, we have, satellite dishes, yes? But in the 7th century, if you wanted to convey a message, you would have to send a messenger on a horse or a camel, and that would take days or weeks to get to the person, or to the emperor, whatever, yes?
I mean-
7th century, he's saying that someone would lie, and I'm paraphrasing, and that would reach far wide very quickly, like in a day or so, yes? So now you find that people, they lie in the media and on news channels and that, or like on YouTube, whatever, about things that are happening in the world, and that spreads very quickly.
Just because someone is very accurate and truthful does not mean they're a prophet.
He's saying that he is a prophet of Allah. He's making that claim, yes?
I know, but his proof by saying something that would eventually be truthful isn't proof that he's a prophet.
It is. Why is it not?
You know what Napoleon said? He said it in like 1812. He said that one day China will wake and it will shake the world.
Did he claim to be a prophet?
He didn't claim to be religious, no.
Okay, so has to be within the context. So he's saying he's a prophet, and all the prophecies that he made have come to pass. Even in the Quran, it speaks about how in chapter 30, it speaks about the Quran prophesizes. It says that the Romans, they would defeat the Persians in a 3 to 9 year period. Okay? So at that time, the Persians decimated the Roman Empire. Okay? It was Publius, and he took over Antioch, he took over Rome, he took over Egypt, yes? And he decimated the Roman Empire, right? Even
Who are we talking about right now, sorry?
talking about the Persian Empire. So now the Quran chapter 30, I'll show you, yes?
They ever conquered Rome?
Persia, if you look at 7th century history,
Yeah.
the Persians initially, they took over a lot of Roman land,
There's a fair amount, yeah.
yeah? Egypt, Antioch, as I spoke about, right?
They didn't get Egypt, they got near Egypt.
They took over Egypt as well.
I don't know if they
look into
really conquered Antioch, but they were certainly close.
it, they took over Antioch.
I don't know the exact
No
what they
problem.
did, but
No
somewhere
problem.
like that, I'm sure.
It doesn't minor details, but you can look into it, yeah? So now after that occurred, the Quran said something quite profound where the pagan Arabs were saying that this is a mistake, that after this heavy defeat that the Roman Empire had, that even Heraclius himself said that we are on our deathbed, that this is not a good position for us. So now the Quran at that point prophesied about the future and said in chapter 30, I show you, yes, chapter 30.
Talks about 3 to 9 years, they will be defeated. You know,
Yeah.
the Roman, the
So
Persian.
it says, it's called the chapter of Rome, yeah,
Yeah.
Rome, yeah, chapter of Rome.
Yeah.
It says, Alif Lam Mim, the Byzantines have been defeated, yes, by the Persians
Sure.
in the nearest land, but they, after their defeat, will overcome within 3 to 9 years. To Allah belongs the command, i.e. decree, before and after, and that day the believers will rejoice, yes?
Okay.
So, when this prophecy was made, what happened is that the pagan Arabs were saying, okay, this is definitely, we got you now, yeah, we got you guys, yeah, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we got you, this is wrong. This is not going to occur, yes? Even Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu made a bet as well, yes, with someone that it is going to occur, yes? So, in I can't remember the exact date, but on the six years later, the Romans defeated the Persians and they took back Antioch and Jerusalem and like Egypt, yes? And they actually went into Persia as well. They took parts of Persia as well, yes? So now the Quran makes a distinct prophecy, very specifically saying that the Romans have been defeated, and then in a 3 to 9 year period they would defeat the Persians.
My point was,
You get tea, biscuits. Go ahead, yes, please.
just because someone predicts something and it ends up coming true, prophesies something, and just because he says I am a prophet, is not definitive proof that he is a prophet. Because people can predict things and they come true. You don't need to be a prophet to predict things.
But there's something called falsification test in the Quran. He says, if this book was other from the Creator, then bring chapter like it. That was a challenge to everyone, including yourself. There's a verse in the Quran, it says, bring chapter like the Quran. At that time, it was the 10th verse, the 10 chapters, then it was reduced into 3 chapters, then 1 chapter. No one has ever brought something like the Quran, something called falsification test.
You know,
another point was, another option, if this book was other from the Creator, then they would have found many contradictions. How come there is no contradiction in the Quran? There is
I
no
haven't read it, I
mistakes.
don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying you can go and read it.
Yeah, you read it.
The third
Some research,
option
yeah.
is Prophet Muhammad could not read or write. One of the miracles of the Quran. Imagine someone who claimed to be a prophet and he is speaking the words beyond human capacity. So people were surprised, was he a magician? But they never called him a liar. What they called him as, he was known to his community as Sadiq al-Amin, the truthful, the person who was honest. And when he was calling people, he went to the mountain and he says, if there were an army coming to attack you, would you believe me? They say, of course we know you as a truthful person. How can we not believe in you? Then later on, he says, I'm calling you to believe and worship one God. Then people, some of them believe it later on, and some reject his message. But many people have accepted Islam. Now we have 2 billion Muslims in the
Something
world.
like that,
2.3.
Why?
Yeah.
And that the fastest religion in the world is Islam. And the purpose of life, why we're here, God Almighty has mentioned in the Quran. He says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created human beings once, and jinn is different creation, except to worship Him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you
Jazakallah khair,
worship
go
Him?
on.
Is a question. To be kind to your parents is part of worship. To pray 5 times a day. To be kind to your neighbors. And Prophet Muhammad says, none of you are true believers until you love your neighbor what you love for yourself. This is who the person was speaking about. And we mentioned earlier about how did Prophet Muhammad knew about the future. There's a verse in the Quran in Surah Al-Najm. He says, in hiya illa wahyu yuha. This is the verse that I quoted later before. It says, in huwa illa wahyu yuha. It is not but a revelation revealed. وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى, chapter 53, verse 3 and 4. Nor does he speak from his own inclination. So whatever he prophesies about the future, Prophet Muhammad could not know about the future unless God revealed him and told him.
I think it's a strong point
Do you
is
get
that
my point?
if someone,
But
if
that's
someone
information he
claims,
got from the Quran.
Yeah,
no, he's saying
the-
from God. The
Yeah, I
point
know,
is
he's speaking. He's saying
that
he's speaking
if
from God.
if a man,
Yes, that's
he made a
his
claim,
claim.
yes,
Yes.
he said that he's a prophet of God, yes.
He did.
So we have to substantiate that claim, yes. Number one is that the creator, the one that created the universe, would have complete knowledge, because that would be a necessary attribute of the creator, yes, having complete knowledge, yes. And he's saying that this creator has given me this knowledge, yes. Even the Quran says in chapter 19, it says, tell them, I'll show you 1 second, yeah? Chapter 19.
Yeah, before the things that I've explained to you, does that make sense?
Chapter
Yeah.
18.
Okay, so what was his message, Prophet Muhammad? When he came, there's a chapter in the Quran, chapter 112. He was calling people and God commanded him to teach people, say, Qul huwa Allah, and say God is uniquely one, the creator of the heaven and earth. He has to be one. Allahu Samad, Allah is self-sufficient, independent, eternal. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor was he begotten. It means God Almighty, the one I'm describing. He doesn't have parents, children, offspring. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. There is nothing comparable to God. We cannot compare God into anything, shape or form. Brother Hamza, I know you want to give me. You're not looking, that's all. Exactly.
Sure, I'm
So
sorry,
does
but,
that make sense what Prophet
1 second,
Muhammad
yeah.
was teaching people about the oneness
Oh, yeah,
of
I
God?
understand what
Makes
you were saying.
sense, yeah, because if I said to you God is a man, you wouldn't believe that. Would you believe that?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, so we would say even the concept of God in Islam is sound, which is with your reasoning and your natural innate disposition, like your
It's
natural.
not a bad way to live by. I just wouldn't. I don't do it because I don't believe.
No, is that we're saying that it is the truth based upon the evidence. Yes, like it says here. Look, it says in the Quran chapter 18, verse 110. Say, so Allah is saying to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, say, I am only a man like you, to whom has been revealed that your God is one God. So whoever would hope for the meeting with his Lord, let him do righteous work and not associate in the worship of his Lord anyone.
I mean, I concede he said that, but I don't concede that that's any kind of proof that he's real.
So I'll give you the evidence, right? Is that
I mean, that's not evidence. That's just saying
no,
this is what he said.
no. What I'm saying is that this is what he's been told to say. But alongside that, he was given information about the future. Also, the Quran also says is that Islam was that Islam was spread in Surah Tawbah chapter 9, even if the disbelievers do not like it. So this is the truth sent by the Creator Allah, and this is His Prophet, yes, and Allah would aid His Prophet because he's a true prophet.
Sure.
Yes, and he's saying that Islam was spread. Categorically, it was spread. You know the Muslims were like small in number. They're being
It was spread
persecuted.
like crazy. Yeah, it was spread
Yeah.
all over the place.
So initially, the Muslims were very small in number. They're being persecuted by the pagan Arabs. Yes.
I don't think that's the case, actually. Originally they were, but when Muhammad became the leader, they very much blended the cultures together.
They
Pagan
what do
Arabs
you-
and Islam are very much kind of not combined, but a lot of pagan traditions were implemented into Islam to make
The
it
thing
more
is,
appealing.
there's a verse in the Quran called Surah Kafirun, mean the chapter of the disbelievers. So they came to him and they said to him is that for a short period you can worship our gods, and then for a short period we can worship your gods. And the Quran says no. Yes, this is something that we're not going to do because Allah is the true God. We don't worship the idols. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So this is
I'm not
what-
saying they worship pagan gods. I'm just saying they implemented some pagan traditions
It's
into
not.
Islam.
You would have to bring that evidence.
Sorry?
For example,
Well, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
you would have to bring that evidence because we're not pagans. We don't do any like.
Yeah, I know you're not pagan. You don't believe in multiple gods, but there were traditional pagan traditions which.
For example,
I don't know. I just learned about it. I didn't learn specifically
Or
what.
are you talking about the pagan in Mecca? They used to worship 360 idols before Prophet Muhammad was sent as a messenger.
Those people, yeah.
Yeah, those people. So basically, when Prophet Muhammad was sent, basically it was revealed the revelation in the cave. So let me put you in the position now. Did he claim to be a messenger of God? Was he received as something in the cave, or did he made up things?
He could have. We don't know. I mean, I think it's more
Or
likely.
I'll
he
give you
made
the,
up.
the thing is
what
give you the
question?
evidence though.
Yeah, but what is the question? If he make something, what is the intention when someone make a false allegation and put his life into risk? Because that time it was not easy just to claim you believe in one God. People used to get killed. It was a serious allegation. What was the motivation? Because that time the pagans of Makkah, they offered him to make him a king, to give him the best wife that he wants. He could have just said, okay, because people's intention, when they intend to do something, they do it for a purpose.
I'm sure he
So-
fully believed.
so
I
my
don't think
point-
he lied. I didn't say he lied.
So what is it?
I think it's very possible
Yeah.
he thought that Allah was speaking to him, but he actually wasn't. It was in his head.
But what happened? Okay, if that was
I
the
think that's
case,
more likely.
No,
Why
the
do you
most-
believe that? But the thing is, how can he prophesy the future if it's only in his head? How can he say that?
Well, it wasn't a hard prediction to say
For
they
example-
built
for
towers.
But
example-
in
they
the
used to
desert.
have
No,
a
no.
doctor, but at that time, if he was hallucination, like you mentioned, I think,
I think
they
there's no
could have
evidence for
treated
that.
him, yeah. But that time, they have made so many allegations about him, but they never call him a liar. And they can see, they call him, was he possessed by the magic? But when they look at the Prophet Muhammad, he was not in that person. He says he was not crazy. Even he mentioned, Sahirun wala majnoon. He was neither a mad person or he was not a magician. That's what they claim because they thought, like you're claiming now, the pagans of Mecca. They thought he was a crazy. But when they look at him, because people start to see his message into reality, that the person, and he's claiming to believe in the God of Abraham, Prophet Moses, Prophet Jesus, like the previous prophets. So they realize that he's not making things up, or he's not someone who's crazy. So it's a fact people can get killed. They offered him to make him a king, but he refused. They were going to give him the best wife to marry. Because people, when they intend to do something, they're doing it for a reason, right? Am I right? So what was the reason what was his motivation? This is the question. Why would he thought things, but later on people witness his message. He prophesied so many things, and he's claiming to believe in the God of Prophet Abraham. Because Prophet Abraham was neither a Jew or Christian, the Quran claimed that, but he was a Hanifa Muslim, someone who believes in God, the oneness of God. So what's your position again?
People do things that are not inherently in their best interest for what they believe, even if what they believe isn't true.
Thing is,
Like the Christians in the Roman Empire. They genuinely, fully believed, they had no doubt in their mind. They didn't think they would go to heaven, they knew they would go to heaven if they were killed.
yeah, I understand what you're saying, but he's saying is that he was offered wealth, he was offered women, he was offered to be actually the leader and the king. He said no. He said no, that even if you offered me the moon in one hand and the earth in another, I would not stop saying to worship the one creator.
He could have genuinely believed in this and thought this is
And
the
then,
way.
and secondly, is that if he was mad, as you're saying, he wouldn't be a military leader. He wouldn't be a husband. He wouldn't be.
Crazy
He
people can be
wouldn't.
leaders.
He wouldn't be.
That's not necessarily
No,
a thing.
he wouldn't be a functional person.
I disagree. Crazy people
If
can
he
be
was
very
crazy or he was delusional,
I disagree
or
fully.
he was hearing voices in his head. If you're
fully disagree.
if you're hearing-
Crazy people can be very effective.
No, if you're hearing voices in your head, people would realize that you're hearing these voices, and you'll not be able to prove to them. If someone said to
Mussolini was hearing voices.
Wait. If someone said to you today that I am hearing voices that I'm a prophet, you would say, okay, what's your evidence? Then that person would be able to provide evidence, or would not be able to provide. Let me finish. Yes. So the Prophet ﷺ, number one, there are narrations where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ put his finger into a place of water, for example, like a cup, and then from his fingers there was water dripping, and then hundreds of companions they done wudu. In the back of the trench, where the Muslims were outnumbered, okay, is that they didn't have enough food, so then he put date into his garment and he shook his garment, and then the dates expanded. Yes.
Okay.
And this was witnessed by his companions. Yes. So he was doing miracles as well. Even the Quran is a miracle. If you look at the Quran and you analyze it, the Prophet Muhammad was illiterate. Yes. The pagan Arabs at that time, they were linguistic experts in the Arabic language, so they could have a conversation in poetry like we're having a conversation. They were linguistic masters. When the Quran came to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, they said, this Quran is not your words, you're illiterate, you don't have any grammatical training. They said that this is something supernatural, and the Quran challenges the pagan Arabs to bring a book like this, and they failed. Then the Quran says to bring 10 chapters like this, and they failed. And then the Quran says to bring one chapter like this, which is Surah Kawthar, yes. So like it's a very small chapter, and it's 3 sentences. It's got approximately 50 grammatical devices in 15 words, hyperbole, simile, metaphor, whatever. Yes. So the pagan Arabs people all they had to do to falsify his message was to imitate the Quran in its linguistic structure, yes?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I would like to know the evidence for this because I don't know what
Yeah, sure.
what is the
Okay.
evidence that he was illiterate? Who
So-
says he was illiterate?
So at that time, there was only around 23 people that could read and write at that time.
And
Obviously
also,
now,
who says he wrote it as another thing?
even secular historians would agree that he was illiterate. His companions penned down the Quran as well because he couldn't read and write.
So he didn't write
he
it?
He sent a letter. No, he didn't write it. He could not read, he could not write because it was revealed by speech. Like,
So he didn't physically write it down,
No.
is what you're
No,
saying?
it was orally tradition. It was revealed, people memorize it, and then it was
And-
written
and wrote it down as well,
by-
yes.
by his companions, like Zayd bin Thabit
Okay.
and the companions. They wrote it down. But Prophet Muhammad,
Could not read and
never
write.
went- because when you read his biography, you will know who he was.
Then
Because
why does it
someone who
matter
didn't-
if we can't read and write?
it's because
Why does it
that's the
matter?
miracle. If
Because
someone,
that's one of the miracle of the Quran.
Yes.
Because he could have just, the Christian could have made a claim he copied from the Bible. So one of the miracle is he could, because people witness that he, from his young age, his parents passed away. Then he was in a hardship. His uncle looked after him. From his mother, she passed away. His uncle looked after him, Abu Talib. And then his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, passed away. He went through hardship in his life. That's
if you
why.
look into it,
But anyway, in the Quran defended Prophet Muhammad as well. In chapter Yasin, chapter 36, he says, Yasin wal Quran al Hakim, by the wise Quran, indeed you, O Muhammad, are from among the messengers, ala sirat al-mustaqim, on a straight path. This is the revelation of the exalted in might, the merciful. So that you may warn a people whose forefathers were not warned, so they are on a way. Already the word has come into effect upon most of them, so they do not believe. Indeed, we have put shackle on their legs, and they are to their chest, so they are with the heads aloft. And we have put before them a barrier behind them, a barrier. So this story is about God Almighty. There is something high being the creator out there that defended Prophet Muhammad. And he's talking about Prophet Muhammad.
But isn't that Prophet Muhammad's own words?
So this
So
is my
Prophet
point.
Muhammad is
who
saying
he
he's
talking
defending
about?
himself.
No, Prophet
No.
says you, O Muhammad, are from among the
you're
messengers.
missing all the points, man.
You get the point? You get
We're
the
saying
point?
that
This is what's
he's
told
illiterate.
Muhammad.
I tell you why,
this
yeah?
is what
I
was
tell you
told
why,
to
right?
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
I
wasallam. Get the
told,
point.
I told you why, right? Whilst I've been speaking to you,
Yes.
I've made many errors in my speech, yes?
Sure.
Because in spontaneous speech, you make errors, yes?
Yeah, of course.
So now the Quran was revealed to him over a 23-year period
Yeah.
based upon circumstance. It wasn't like a book given to him, there you go.
Yeah.
It was based upon, it's called Asbab al-Nuzul, yes? Based upon circumstances, yes? So he was asked a question on the spot and he just gave an answer, like you're asking me questions, yes? Then his companions, they wrote it down and they memorized it, yes? Right? So, in spontaneous speech, you make errors. Even if Trump has a pre-written speech,
Yeah.
speakers,
I have to go in 3 minutes. Just
no
so you know.
problem. So speakers, they have a pre-written speech, or they make errors because you cannot speak perfectly. Yes.
Of course, yeah.
So when the Prophet ﷺ was asked questions, it became public. He couldn't bring it back and change it. Remember, he was illiterate. So after 23 years, they after he died, then they compiled it, and they realized that this is the highest form of the Arabic language. It has no grammatical errors.
Are you trying to say because he spoke perfectly without any speech or whatever,
I tell you what, yes,
and he's illiterate,
he made
that
prophecies.
It must be real?
He made prophecies. The Quran made
And
prophecies
is
and they
that
came
what, is that what
true.
you're saying, right?
He was
more than
illiterate. Many
I know
things.
more than that, but that's-
many things. I've given you many evidences, prophecies
But
of the
that's
future.
one of the evidence.
This is just another one, but there's
So
many of them.
many.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned in the Quran, who is speaking to Prophet Muhammad, calling him a messenger. You were among the messengers. And also in the Quran, chapter 2, chapter 2, it says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِي هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is the book about which there is no doubt and guidance for those conscious of Allah. Yeah. Yeah, so, so the Quran is mentioned. So the Quran is mentioned. This is a book. There is no doubt for those conscious of Allah. So who is communicating with Prophet Muhammad? Because there is something out there that is communicating with him. It's not just making of things. Like someone is telling you on the right path, you are Khatam al-Nabiyyin, you are the seal of the prophethood, you are the messenger. There were so many circumstances that Prophet Muhammad was corrected by the Creator. Like there was a time he was speaking to a blind man, and God, and instead of speaking, he was speaking to the leaders, but God corrected him because the blind man came. He wants advice to learn something from him. It's called chapter Abasa, like I can show you. But who is communicating with him? There's a question.
Also, you know what?
There's a
one
question
thing, yeah,
too.
is
Let me
that
ask him. Who is communicating with Prophet Muhammad?
I don't know, and I guess most people do not know. They would not
As
came with him.
as agnostic, yeah.
I mean, he says it was Muhammad.
No, as agnostic,
he's
you
saying
know,
that
He said Allah, sorry, Allah.
Yeah,
Allah, yes, yeah.
But you as agnostic, you're not sure. And Prophet Muhammad claimed to be a messenger of God, that there is high power out there, is communicating with him. So as agnostic, you should accept that because you're not atheist. You believe there is a high power
I
out
believe
there.
that could be.
And
he-
Prophet Muhammad claimed that he's a messenger of God, that Creator has communicated with him.
I'm not going to assume he's right, though. I'm not
If
going
you
to
are
believe him.
no, as a consistent person, you have to investigate maybe a bit more.
Yeah,
Because there's a chapter in the
do some
Quran,
research,
it
yeah.
says, لا إكراه في الدين حتى بيان الرشد من الغي. What it means is there is no compulsion in religion. I'm not allowed to force you to become Muslim.
Yeah,
You're
I
not allowed to force me to become
It's on your free will.
agnostic or atheist.
I have to go now.
Yeah, but
Can
the truth stands from the clear.
I just conclude it, yes?
What's your name?
I'm Hayden.
Hayden, nice to meet you. I'm Sharif
too.
Nice to meet
I can kind of, I wanted to conclude, yeah? But if you look at psychologists, they read the Quran and they read the Hadith, which is his word. We have his words,
Yeah.
and they say that these are two different people speaking.
Yes.
Because generally, when you write something in your life, the tone, your life experiences, and you are in the text. If you're writing something, yes.
If you're right out.
But they say that the Quran doesn't reflect his life. It's a consistent tone and a consistent speech. Because in the Hadith, the way that he speaks is completely different from the Quran. So even psychologists say that the Quran it cannot be his speech because we've looked at his speech.
you. You have your phone. Just write down Maurice Bouquet. That he wrote a book called Science, Quran, and Bible. Which one is from the Creator? Just write it down.
Yeah.
Professor Maurice Bouquet.
It's okay if I conclude, yeah?
Yeah.
So we give you the evidence. Number one is that we said that the Prophet Muhammad SAW made very distinct, precise prophecies about the future. If he was mad or crazy, he would have got that completely wrong. The Quran makes a distinct prophecies about how the Romans would defeat the Persians, and that happened precisely. Thirdly, the Prophet Muhammad was illiterate, and the Quran is a linguistic miracle that cannot be imitated in the Arabic language. So you would have to do your research into this and kind of
I will, yeah. I
Yeah,
really
open.
go now.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
All right, take care. Finish. Conclude.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Zero, okay. Conclude this.
Yeah.